Are we live?
We should be live. Oh, we're already live. Okay, hold on. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live. Apologies, the YouTube page was buffering and I didn't notice. We are now live here with Blazers Uprise Live here on a Monday. No intro screen today. We're just straight to it. Anyway, hopefully your guys' Mondays are going well. For today's stream, we're going to talk about injuries. Injuries, as Scoot Henderson got an update yesterday, and we're going to talk about that. We talked about a little bit on the post-game show, but we're going to readdress it. We're also going to talk about Malcolm Brogdon's latest injury, and we're going to pick games for picks against the spread. We got 4 games for picks against the spread to pick from today. Also, very important loss that the Blazers had last night. They are now half a game back of 4th best lottery odds. I literally did this intro once, and then Eric was like, looked all confused. I was like, what did I say wrong in my intro? And then he's like, are we actually live? And I went back to the YouTube page, and it was still buffering. So, we are just straight to it. Eric, how is your Monday treating you?
Pretty good. Just got off work. Excited to do the stream and then not have a Blazer game tonight.
Yeah. Blazer game tomorrow night. They play against Miami. I probably won't be watching the majority of that game, so I'm going to rely on you tomorrow night because I got Reckley. Good old Tuesday games, man. But, I'm pretty happy about the All-Star break, couple of Blazer games, see them get a good loss, and then tomorrow is the only game in 4 days, and I'm going to be playing basketball. So, I'm enjoying life right now, man. Just ready to ready to see what the lottery gods have in store for us. Ready for March Madness. That's the 2 things I'm looking forward to right now. And ready to seeing Scoot Henderson play again this season, hopefully, because without him, the intrigue is just far less in these games.
Yes, for sure.
But hopefully there's intrigue in games for picks against the spread because, chat, you guys continue to kill it. Continue to kill it. You guys are doing way too well, man. So I go 9-4. I was 4 games back at chat in second place. I go 9-4. Had a good day, right? But I lost a game on the lead. Because chat goes 10-3 on Thursday. They win their double down. They're killing double downs. 20-11 on double downs. Phenomenal record on double downs. The only other person to go 10-3 was Arrow, who has broken out of his slump. He's sitting there tied for 6th with Steven, who also went 9-4. Eric, you went 9-4 with me.
Yep.
Good job. So did 503. Crush Chase Trevin, 8-5. Jackson Connor, 6-7. Zach, 5-8. But collectively, we went 97-59. We got our overall record 22 games below 500, so looking a lot more respectable. You'd love to see it.
Yeah. Zach's only 11 games behind 500. Like, we're rolling.
Yeah, only 5 games separate 4th and 12th. 6 games separate 3rd and 12th. So despite there only being 4 games today, you could see a lot of movement within the standings. Let's jump into the first game. The first matchup features, let me hide these picks. The first matchup features Indiana hosting the Toronto Raptors. Indiana's a 5.5-point home favorite.
All right, in this one, just reloaded my page. It's taking forever. We got the Raptors have no one out. The Pacers have Aaron Nesmith out.
Alrighty. Chat poll time. There you go. Chat. I'm just going to roll with the Pacers. Crushables is Raptors. Noah is Pacers.
I'm going to take the Pacers as well.
Hopefully Chase is in chat. Because he didn't send me his picks. Did Trevin send you his picks?
Trevin did not.
Okay, he sent me his picks. I was just wondering if he sent them to you. Okay. Steven is going with the Pacers. Trevin is going with the Pacers.
Both Zach and Jackson are Pacers.
A lot of Pacer love. We got Connor with a melting face emoji. Arrow is going Pacers. I thought I put Steven's pick in. Oh, I put Steven's pick in for Chase. Yeah, Chase, I don't have his picks. Connor goes Raptors. And Chat is going with the Pacers. 77. It doesn't matter because we can vote on it. Alrighty, so Connor and Crush, Raptors. Everybody else, Pacers. Next game, we got the New York Knicks hosting the Detroit Pistons. The Knicks are 11-point home favorites.
All right, in this one, we got Marcus Sasser and Isaiah Stewart out for the Pistons. The Knicks are without Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, and Mitchell Robinson. Dang, 11.
Trevin is Pistons. I think that's the Pistons. Yes, it is. I'm not going to Pistons. Trevin's Pistons. Let's see. We got Steven Knicks. We got Crushables Knicks.
Oh, man.
Chase just made his picks right in time. He went Pacers on game 1, so that's a 2v10. And for game 2, he went Knicks.
I'm going to go Knicks, too.
I'm going Knicks 3.
Do not feel good about this game.
503 is Knicks. Might just be a day for chalk. And then...
Aromancer is Bistons.
Okay.
Zach is Pistons. Jackson is Knicks.
And Connor is... Chat is going Pistons. And Connor, we will move on. Next game, Memphis is hosting the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn 2-point road favorites.
All right, in this one we got Dariq Whitehead is out for the Nets. Ben Simmons is questionable. For the Grizzlies, they're without John Concar, Desmond Bain, Marcus Smart, Scottie Pippen Jr., Brandon Clark, and Ja Morant.
All right, there's the chat poll. Let's see. We had Connor last game went Knicks. So it's a 4v8 in favor of the Knicks. And then this game is gross.
I'm going to take the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies either win or they don't show up.
Yeah. Okay, we got Nets for Chase. We got Nets for 503. We got Nets for Steven. Crushables went Nets.
Nets for Jackson.
Okay.
Zachary is Nets as well.
Trevin went Nets.
Arrow and Connor are Grizzlies.
All right, finally some people to join us in chat. Is Nets 53% of the vote? So 8v4 in favor of the Nets. Final game, we got the Sacramento Kings hosting the Jimmy Butler-less Miami Heat. The Kings are 7-point home favorites.
All right, our opponent for tomorrow night, the Miami Heat, tonight are without Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, sorry.
Jimmy Rozier.
Jimmy Butler is serving a game suspension. He'll be back tomorrow night, though. Nikola Jovic got suspended. He's out. Thomas Bryant suspended, out. Josh Richardson and Drew Smith both out, with Orlando Robinson questionable. And the Kings have Sasha Vezenkov is injured.
Ugly stuff, man.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Kings.
Same. We agreed on everything.
Nice.
Trevin is Kings. Crushables is Kings. Steven, Heat.
Connor and Aeromancer on the Kings. Zach is Kings. Jackson is Kings.
Okay, Chase is Heat. 503 is Kings. And Chat is Kings. So it's a 10v2 in favor of the Kings. You got Chase and... Wait, no, it wasn't Chase and Steven, right? Yeah, it was Chase and Steven. Why am I second-guessing myself? All right, Chat is Sacramento. So Chase and Steven. Heat, time for double downs.
Both Jackson and Zach are Pacers.
Yeah. Jackson, Zach, Pacers. I'm also going to go Pacers.
Aeromancer is Pacers. I'm going to go Glizzies.
I need to do a chat poll. Hold on. Okay, they got Indiana minus 5.5 versus Toronto. What are their other picks? They got Detroit plus 11 at New York. They got Kings minus 7, and they got Nets minus 2. Brooklyn minus 2 at Knicks. And they got 7 minus 7 first. Alright. There you guys go. There's your double down poll. Okay, what were the other picks? Zach went Pacers.
Yeah.
Who else went Pacers?
Jackson and Aeromancer.
Okay, what'd you go?
Glizzies.
Okay.
Chase's Heat.
Alright. Oh, Chase double down on the Heat, huh? Did you just make that pick in chat?
He says Heat, why not? Yeah.
Cool. He just sent me a different one, I didn't know. Crushables is Kings.
Connor's Raptors.
Okay. I wish this would let me put in these picks faster. Okay. So, Trevin, double down on the Pacers. Steven, double down on the Knicks. Is it clear what chat's going to pick? I'm not looking.
I'm not looking either. I always close the poll.
Okay, 503, double down on the Pacers. We love ourselves some Pacers today. And chat is doubling down on the Pacers as well. So, lots of Pacers double downs. We got 7 for the Pacers. And then all the rest are on their own, Eric. You got you on the Grizzlies, Connor on the Raptors, Chase on the Heat, Steven on the Knicks, and Crushables on the Kings.
Nice.
So kind of fascinating.
I like
either we're going to be, if the Pacers cover, we're above 500 for double downs. If they don't cover, we're below 500 for double downs on the day. Because there's 7 of us on them. So it's going to be interesting to see. That game is going to swing a lot, Eric, in terms of overall standings. That's basically 14-0 or 0-14. So, going to be fascinating to see this game play out. Anyway, that concludes Picks Against the Spread. Thank you for participating. If you want to get in on the action, make sure to sign up with the BetUS link in the description box below. Promo code JOIN125 for 3 deposit bonuses of 125%. So, Scoot Henderson, we talked about it last night, but I don't remember the quote. What was the quote, Eric? Sorry to put you on the spot, but
you want the Casey Holdall one?
The Casey Holdall quote. So, just to preface it, Scoot Henderson, adductor injury, apparently re-aggravated it on Sunday in the Rising Stars game, but He did an interview. What's up?
Rising Stars.
On Saturday. Or no, on Friday.
Rising Stars is Friday, yeah.
Last night I said on Sunday.
You kept saying Sunday, yeah.
Could have corrected me. On Friday. I'm just thinking like All-Star game, but it wasn't the All-Star game. It was the Rising Stars game, of course, so... on Friday, Scoot Henderson apparently re-aggravated his adductor strain. Apparently he had before, didn't know. Okay, and then he did an interview after practice on, I believe, Wednesday. It was either Wednesday or Thursday last week. I think he practiced. I'm not entirely sure. Kind of weird for him to do an interview after practice if he didn't practice. Especially with no mention of an injury. And then now he's sitting out games due to it. So very weird timeline there. And Eric, you got the quote from Casey Holdall.
Yeah, sorry, I tweeted a lot during the game, so
You're fine.
All right, Billups notes that Scoot Henderson underwent imaging on his adductor and it was generally positive, but also said he's not currently doing anything on the court. Also sounds like Malcolm Brogdon got a PRP injection in his elbow.
Yeah, so it begs the question, should we be worried about Scoot? Okay, and the options are not worried at all, a little worried, somewhat worried, and very worried. That's what I'm going to put in a chat poll. Eric, what's your answer and why?
I mean, if we're just talking about injuries, I'm very worried. Because, I don't know, it seems like once a Blazer player has this injury, it's going to eventually lead to surgery, whether that's sooner or down the road in a couple of years. I'm worried that it's going to result in the surgery. How about you?
I trend towards somewhat worried. I don't know. I mean, he could be fine in a week, but that hasn't been what the precedent has been. So I am definitely a little worried, somewhat worried. I don't really know my degree of worry. It probably changes by the minute. But yeah, I definitely think you have to be worried somewhat because of the precedent, because of the history with an injury like this, as well as the fact that so many Blazer players keep dealing with this injury. And when there's been positive talk, you know, they ramped Sharp back up and then he didn't respond well. If Scoot's doing no on-court work right now, is the same thing going to happen to him when they try and ramp him up that happened to Sharp? Where it's not responding well, and then they say, well, looks like we got to get surgery. I brought this up on yesterday's post-game show, it begs the question, why does this keep happening? But as far as Scoot's case individually, yes, somewhat worried. In chat, 48% of people say somewhat worried, 33% say very worried, 14% say a little worried, and 5% of vote just came in for not worried. If you're not worried, explain why you're not worried.
And if he's going to have the surgery, wouldn't you rather just have him have it now? So it's okay for next year?
Yeah. But that just takes away, some reps at the end of the year. Like, I don't think it kills his career by any means or anything like that, but it's not good, especially with how much he's been improving lately. So I don't want him to miss out on potential reps to end the season. Jonathan Evers says maybe he just took the Dame replacement stuff a bit too literally. Yeah, maybe, man. That's funny. Eric Olson says, I'm trying not to overreact. If it gets bad, it gets bad. If not, great. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, until it gets bad, I'm not going to be overly worried, but we've seen this story before.
Here's why I'm worried, and like you said, it could be for nothing. It could play next game, and it could not matter at all. But when you're talking about re-aggravating it, it's not like it was just sore. It means it was bothering him before, then they tried playing again, and it flared up again. And when it starts to do that, in my opinion, it starts to sound like similar to the Sharp and Dame situations. And obviously it's not years of flaring up like Dame's, but it has the potential, even if he's feeling fine now, to flare up at any moment. So I feel like it's just going to be a thing that we're always kind of worried about, even if he doesn't have the surgery.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not as severe as Dame's or Sharp's, then, I think it can heal on its own. It's a strain, so it can heal on its own. Doesn't necessitate it's not necessary to have corrective surgery on every adductor strain.
Right.
So that's where I have some hope, but how long is that going to take, and are they going to know when they can play him again? I'm not sure, and if he's not on the court, I don't think he's going to be back anytime soon. So that's where I do expect him, even if he doesn't have surgery, to be out at least the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a rough couple of weeks without him because he's the most intriguing part of the Blazers right now, but yeah, the most important thing is his health. The most important thing is that he can actually work on his game this offseason and come into next year ready to hit the ground running. So if that means they need to get surgery, they need to get surgery. I just don't know exactly how you determine that.
Yeah. Well, I just think the worst thing would be like, oh, it's fine, it's just a strain. But if he's re-aggravating it and it keeps becoming an issue, even if it's minor, then at what point do they decide? And hopefully that's not like, oh, it's okay for like now, and then into the summer he's fine, and then as soon as he starts working out in training camp or something, it's like, oh, it's kind of bothering him again,
Yeah, 100%. Eric Olson said, I'm literally dealing with a calf strain right now. I was feeling good last week, played ball, re-aggravated, took it easy for 3 days. Now it feels 90% better. Yeah, it's funny how injuries recover, man. If you guys remember, I severely sprained my ankle 5.5 months ago at this point, Eric. It is still not right. It is still like, I wore a brace and everything, but it is still weak. I still don't feel comfortable jumping off of it for like a right-handed lay-in. So, not, it might be not, no two injuries are exactly the same because no two people are exactly the same. Everybody's body recovers a little bit differently. Obviously, you got different severities of injuries as well that you bake into the equation. So, yeah, it's, this was just a great opportunity for me to vent about my freaking ankle because it pisses me off. Christopher in chat says Torrey has the same doctors the Blazers have. Yeah, apparently. Well, I didn't even really see a doctor. They did x-ray. Nothing's broken. I was like, okay, wore a boot for a little bit, then progressed up, but I didn't do any like physical therapy for it. Maybe I should have. I mean, I'd probably need to get an MRI at some point, and I might need surgery, so hopefully not. But Yeah, it's still a little slightly swollen, and yeah, Trent Calmer says sprains are a ligament, injury strain is muscular. The severity of each is what determines recovery time. Exactly. So, man, I hope Scoot's all right, man, because I'm just waiting for him to get back. It's tough to watch this team until he gets back. It's tough to be engaged with this team until he gets back. There was a comment earlier that I wanted to read regarding that. Basically, where was it, man? I can't find it, but let me add in this chat poll. Wes Davison said that's been the big downer for me this season. Not enough Scoot and Shea developing together this season. Yeah, people would be much more invested in these games. It'd be much more fun to watch these games if you had Scoot and Sharp playing off each other right now. The fact that we don't get either of them during this tanking stretch is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, that's been the most disappointing part for me, considering we said before the season that this season was all about getting them developed and getting as much time together as possible to try and get as much information on that as possible in terms of can those two and Anthony play together, or what's the best combinations and stuff like that. So looks like from a Blazers perspective, they're still going to build around those three, and we'll go into next season with those three, but unfortunately it's going to be still a mystery on whether they can all coexist. It's not looking like it's going to happen even with 2 out of 3 of them this season.
Yeah, I agree. You remember the Shaedon Sharpe injury video? You remember how I started it?
I don't remember exactly how you started it.
Basically, I was Oprah Winfrey, and I was giving everyone core injuries, even the people at home.
Yeah,
you get a core injury, you get a core injury, and even you watching this stream right now, you get a core injury too. And guess what? Scoot gets a core injury too. We all get core injuries. So, yeah, I'm just waiting on my turn, you know?
Well, you joke, but I had that, remember, a few weeks ago when I thought I had it still kind of flares up sometimes.
Dang, you need surgery, Eric.
I know.
It's brutal. It's brutal. You caught the bug. Luckily...
It's like a Portland thing, I guess.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't have a chiseled six-pack like you or Scoot or Dame, so I'm not too worried about, my spraining my core. Like, I don't have too much muscle there. So I think I'll be fine.
If I have a chiseled six-pack, it's under a bunch of fat, so...
Anyway, Brogdon, you want to talk a little bit about him?
Yeah, so today was his reevaluation date, which is...
I love that phrase.
And I really can't stand reevaluation. Like, just tell us how long he's supposed to be out for. But no, so he was reevaluated today. Apparently, things are going well. That injection must have helped, I guess. Some people think he won't play anyway, but it sounded like he was closer to being back than not.
Yeah, I don't really care if he's back. I mean, this team is definitely much better with him. They need his offense. Without him, the offense is brutal. But if he has to play a little bit to prove that he's healthy going into an offseason where the Blazers have to trade him, then I get it, and I'm cool with it. I just don't want him leading us to too many wins over the rest of the season when Scoot's missing time, Sharp's missing time, so we're not even developing players. Like, at that point, winning games is just going to be detrimental because it's not like you're winning because you're developing Scoot and he's playing well, developing Sharp and he's playing well. It's just going to be you're winning because you're playing Malcolm Brogdon and Jeremy Grant and DeAndre Ayton, and they're playing well enough to beat teams like the Memphis Grizzlies or the Atlanta Hawks. That's not good. So that is kind of my worry the rest of the season. I want the Blazers to have the 4th best lottery odds. That would be great. But Malcolm Brogdon coming back might hurt that, but he might need to play in order to make sure his trade value is okay going into an offseason compared to missing the final 2 months of the regular season when he's had injury questions in the past.
Yeah, well, you joke, but we're 15-25 with Malcolm and 0-16 without him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to win. Like, it's fine if we win a couple because, like, Scoot comes back and goes off or Anthony has a big game or something. But, yeah, I don't want to win, like, have Malcolm come back and win because, like you said, the vets are playing well. That's exactly why I wanted to trade all of them.
Yeah, agree. Christopher says, can the Manta sleep mask help with core injuries? Maybe that's the key, Eric. Maybe it's because I'm sleeping in my Manta sleep mask. Maybe that's why my core is okay. But it doesn't help with ankle injuries, unfortunately. But if you want to get one, hit me up. I don't have the link on hand right now, but shout out to them. That's crazy, 0-16 without Brogdon. I mean, how much of that, though, is you don't have guard depth when he misses time because of how much time Shaedon Sharpe has missed, Anthony Simons has missed, and now Scoot Henderson.
Yeah, I can't, off the top of my head, there might have been a game earlier in the season that I'm forgetting, but I can't, since Ant got hurt in the first game, I don't think there's been a single game where Brogdon didn't play, but Sharpe, Anthony, and Scoot all played.
Yeah.
Maybe one in, like, right when Anthony came back, but off the top of my head, I don't think they have all three played when Brogdon didn't, so that also sucks. Because Aeromancer says 0-17 now, so that means we're 15-24 without or with Brogdon, so even better. We're like what's that, like 36% win percentage, 37.
Yeah, that's still bad. It's still bad, but much better.
Pretty good.
For us. For us, yeah. I mean, that's the problem. What? He's going to come back and we're going to win 36% of our games? It's going to be hard to pass Charlotte then, despite them being better recently. Dwayne Colvin says, I really want a full turnover in the Blazers' offices from ownership all the way to training staff. I hate the optics of the direction the Blazers are going. Looks to be a mess. I mean, they did turn over the training staff, or at least the training staff turned themselves over. Like, I think the lady that was there left for Milwaukee, and it's a new training staff, so same issues. I don't know what the problem is, but it seems to not be the training staff. But I do agree with the Blazers' offices. I mean, this organization just needs a fresh feel to it, and that starts with fresh ownership and probably a fresh head coach and definitely a fresh, brand new GM. Just restarting from the top down would be so nice. Even if this team still struggled, just to completely hit the refresh button would feel good.
Yeah. Don't think that's happening.
Wes Davison says a little tired of the Ant hate for his bad game last night. Steph Curry went 1 for 10 from 3 last night, and I don't hear anyone saying that he's terrible. I mean, part of that is because it's Steph Curry, but also part of it is because people are just ready to hate on Ant no matter what. I mean, he did just have a kid. Is that affecting him mentally? I don't know. I'm not just going to automatically give him that as an excuse like some other people. I'm also not going to completely discount it.
Some people are going to jump at that, though.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I mean, there's like the new baby jump too. Like some people play better with that when that happens.
Yeah. So yeah, Ant struggled last night, but the game before that he was great. And it's not like he's in an easy situation. He's in an awfully difficult situation. He has no spacing around him. He has no ball handling creation around him. Nobody in that lineup can generate him a shot. It's not like he, is getting open catch and shoot threes. Like, I would love to see the percentage of threes he's had to take off the dribble compared to, like, 3 years ago. He was a 40 to 42% three-point shooter when he got a heavier diet of catch and shoot. Unfortunately, he just can't catch and shoot anymore. As a top player on the team, you expect him to create a lot off the dribble, but I think the best version of Anthony Simons is somebody that can play both on and off the ball. Off the ball means having guys that can generate shots for him. On the ball, it's going to be easier for him if he has teammates that can make a freaking three instead of go for like 1 for 27 before garbage time like last night.
Yeah.
So people need to chill on Ant. It's just he was getting criticism 2 games ago where he was like 8 for 15, 8 assists, 1 turnover. So people just want to criticize him for whatever reason.
Yeah, but like comparing him to Steph, though, I mean, Steph has 4 championships and is one of the best shooters of all time. If he has a bad game, people aren't going to be like,
yeah, I think the point is that everybody has bad games.
Yeah, but Ant has had, I mean, he's had good games, but he's had some really bad games since he's come back too. So
I think if Ant was in a better situation, he wouldn't have had as many bad games.
Well,
I think this situation is maybe killing him is an over-exaggeration, but this situation is not good.
Yeah.
It's hard to go out there as a lead ball handler and have like 3 guys that can't shoot threes and their defenders all collapse on you the second you put the ball on the floor.
I'm not disputing that at all. I'm just saying, like, it's been more than just one bad game. I think that's why people are...
Yeah.
But,
yeah, for sure. But people need to recognize the situation he is in is not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I'm willing to give him more of a pass for that than having a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with Jonathan Evers that this season is Ant's equivalent of Dame's series against the Pels, where you got to learn how to play with that pressure and deal with it. And unless your coach is good at scheming a way out of it, you're going to have to figure out a way to either increase your range or somehow be able to split double teams easier or not get caught in certain situations on the floor where you're getting trapped. He's had, like last night, he had some really bad, just lazy passes across the court. He's got to cut that out. But I mean, I think people like kind of underrate how hard it is to deal with that much defensive attention that he's seeing, and how he has never had that problem before, especially not in the NBA, and how he's got to find a way and learn and grow with dealing with that. And I don't think that's like an easy thing for a player to do. I think it takes time.
Yeah, 100%. Any other things that you want to talk about for the stream? We'll be live again tomorrow night.
So I saw TC Sports Legend or whatever his name is. TC Sports Legend said earlier that he was in favor of getting rid of Stotts, but now that watching Billups, he wishes we had Stotts back. For me, I would say the answer is just because the next coach was bad doesn't mean that we should have kept or gone back to the old coach. I think it doesn't have to be a tight-end thing. Like, Chauncey can be bad, and that's separate than Stotts had 9 years. He should have been let go, in my opinion. He couldn't just keep going the way it was without being able to fix the defense or whatever. So
he shouldn't still be head coach for like 13 years in a row without ever winning a Western Conference Finals game.
Right.
Like 13 years in a row as a coach without winning a conference finals game is absurd. Absurd. Like, you just don't see coaches last that long in the NBA. So that's where it's like, if Chauncey sucks, it's like, okay, well, we need to move on and find the right coach. Not, man, I wish we still had Stotts. Like, we need to. I don't think it makes sense to look backwards towards Stotts when he had 9 years here, and basically everything offensively was built around the excellence of Dame, and defensively he couldn't figure anything out, and he just spammed drop coverage. Like, he wasn't that special of a coach at all. But Chauncey has been bad in his own ways. Chauncey has been bad in his own right. So it's something where you got to move on and find the next coach. And then the best coaching hires recently around the league have not been retreads. It's been guys like Hardy in Utah, Mark Daigneault in OKC, right? Nick Nurse a few years ago for the Raptors was a good coaching hire. Now he's in Philadelphia. I think that was a good hire. That was an upgrade over Doc Rivers. Look at Milwaukee since they brought in Doc Rivers. Even Doc Rivers apparently told the Milwaukee ownership group that he doesn't know why they're doing this in terms of hiring him, which is kind of a funny soundbite. So that's where retreads and that sort of thing, don't want to go back to that. And just want to go forward and find the next Hardy, next diagonal, next elite new coach. TC Sports Legend said, I do personally think that last year's team was better than the Western Conference Finals team. I do not.
They didn't have the depth or shooting that team had. So
yeah, and they also didn't have the versatile defenders that team had. They had that team had Al-Farouq Aminu and Maurice Harkless, who are better defensively than anyone who's played on the Blazers since then. Other than maybe Robert Williams III, but he got injured. He's always injured, so I'm not counting him.
Yeah, I think we'll never know, because if Cronin would have made moves to actually help the roster win games, maybe they would have been like, you had a Hood type level player and a Cantor type level player. Maybe that's good enough, but
they didn't have those guys until the trade deadline anyway, and they were better at the trade deadline than the Blazers were last year.
Yeah, for sure.
And Dame was playing better last year than he did during the 2019 regular season, so it's kind of hard to make that case still.
Yeah.
But I will also say Dame's scoring was maybe a little bit more special in 2019 than it is now, since the rest of the league is just insane right now, offensively.
I mean, Hart was playing out of position a little bit. We had no bench. I don't know. It was...
Yeah. TC Sports Legend says Nurk broke his foot and we made it with Enes Kanter as our starter, who the next year went to the Celtics, wasn't even on the rotation. The reason why we were able to make it with Enes Kanter as the starter and win playoff series was because we had Al-Farouq Aminu, Maurice Harkless, and Zach Collins. Those guys defensively could cover for a lot of problems. And Kanter during that playoff run might have played the best stretch of defense in his entire career. It wasn't good, but he wasn't getting absolutely abused like he normally does. But part of that, you have two versatile defenders around him that can defend 1 through 4, 1 through 5 in Harkless and Aminu. The Blazers have been searching for a versatile defender like that since then. The thing is, they could also knock down a 3. You got Tamani Kamara, who's versatile, still young. Hopefully he can grow into that type of defender, but he's not a 35% three-point shooter. And people complained about Al-Farouq Aminu being a 35% three-point shooter. So that's where the Blazers, going forward, need to find long, lengthy, versatile defenders. That's why I love Alex Sarr in this draft. But also they got to be able to do something offensively. They got to be able to hit a 3. You can't just go out and get a Ryan Dunn. You can't just go out and get a Matisse Thybulle, especially because Matisse Thybulle isn't versatile like Harkless and Aminu were. That's where it comes down to defense, and I think Harkless and Aminu, since they left, I've realized how overlooked their contributions were.
Yeah, for sure.
So, also you had Hood off the bench and Seth Curry off the bench. Those are two phenomenal bench pieces in the playoffs, like offensively.
Zach Collins.
Yeah, I'm just mean on the offensive end. Hood was dominant that Denver series. Seth Curry was really good in the OKC series. I mean, Seth Curry's just a sniper. Hood was a 3-level scorer that you could give the ball to. You could post him up against smaller guards. You could give the ball out to him. He'd attack a closeout well, hit a floater in the lane. Like Hood was fun, man. It sucks that he went down with that injury that kind of ruined the rest of his career. I see he's balling in the G League now, which is awesome to see. That he's still hooping, but
sorry, Achilles, let's play him.
God. Yeah, speaking of this franchise mismanaging injuries. Anyway, we appreciate you guys tuning in here on our second channel. We always love interacting with you. It's a little easier to interact over here on the second channel since it's a little bit smaller. So, we're going to do it again on Thursday with Picks Against the Spread and then just kind of interacting with you guys. Going to try and interact a little bit more with the chat on post-game shows, though. Going to try and answer some of your questions tomorrow night if you have them. So hopefully you can catch us for the post-game show for Blazers versus Heat. And we'll just hang out we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about tomorrow night. Anything else, Eric?
Are you going to go down to Mexico and play with LiAngelo Ball?
Is he playing in Mexico?
I guess.
No. Why would I want to play with LiAngelo Ball? I'd never see the ball.
No, I meant like play against him. Just go find him.
I mean, I'd love to play against LiAngelo Ball. So he could try and post me up from the 3-point line. Anyway. Long time joke for all you OGs. There you go. So let's wrap. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Good luck to everyone in picks against the spread except chat. You guys are doing too well. And yeah, we will catch you tomorrow on the postgame show, going live approximately 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. Appreciate all of you. We're out of here. We'll catch you next time. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.